Hey guys, it's Danielle and I am here with a new Project Life Spread process video. I'm actually participating in the One Little Bird YouTube and blog hop, and I'm just super excited to be here. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Peppermint Gramberg from One Little Bird. She's sponsoring our videos today, and I love One Little Bird products. I use them all the time in my Project Life albums, and I was just super happy to be working with them today. So as you can see here, I'm just getting everything down on my little pocket pages here just so that I can get a really good idea of what everything looks like all together. I have a pretty good plan, but I really want to see it all laid out before I actually start on my process. Now I'm just showing you right here that I'm using one of these weekly cards that I actually got from One Little Bird as well, but they're customizable. So I pulled it into my Photoshop elements and picked up one of the colors from the cards that I'm using to color that so that everything is cohesive and it matches and all looks good together. Now this is actually a week from last year, from 2015. I am currently caught up on my Project Life for this year, but last year I'm super behind. There's several weeks that still needed to be completed. So I decided to take this as an opportunity to get one of those weeks done and get that album closer to being finished. And I love the way it turned out, so I was happy that I did that. So I just get the rest of my little bits and pieces added to my layout, and once I like the look of it, I just start working on each little section at a time. So I always start out with my title card. It's just easy to do. I usually know what I'm going to do on it, and it's not hard. It's just a good way to sort of get started on this process. So you can see there that I cut down the week 33 and then I layered it on top of another 4x6 card. I love the white on white layered look, and I'm just never disappointed in that. And then you can see that I took my date stamp and I'm just marking out the dates in some black ink. And then later on in the video, I'll actually stitch on this card and a couple other cards, but you'll see that later. So then I pull out my next little group of cards and photos, and I'm working on this 3x4 card now that you can see has some typing on it, and it actually says things on there like just a few more pages or one more chapter or lost in a good book, which has nothing to do with this story really, but I don't think you pay too much attention to the words necessarily, and I like the way it looked, so I went with it. You'll see that I popped up a die cut piece in the center of that card. This actually came in the Currently core kit, which was designed by One Little Bird, so it was just a fun little coincidence there. And then I write down my story on this card that says story time, and I just wrote exactly what I told you, how we started our week leaving Seattle, and that was kind of a bummer. So that went together really quickly, and I move on to my next section here. I have this card down here that's a 4x6 card that says you are living your story, and I printed out a photo that fit just to the right of that, and it's just a picture of me sitting on the porch, which is where I go to maybe unwind, or if I need to take a breath, or I'm just relaxing at the end of my day. I just like to sit on my porch, and so I thought that went perfect there. And then I start working on these two cards, which I struggle with a lot. I go back and forth on a lot of different things, and it finally works out in the end, but golly, it took a long time to get there. So you see that those green strips that I cut from one of the 3x4 cards, and it says something to the effect of do what makes you most happy, or do what makes you happy and be done with the rest. And I liked that saying for this particular week, but I didn't like it on the pink card. I really liked the look of the heart on that polka dot paper on the pink card, so I wanted to leave that as it is. So then I thought, well, I'll not use the green strips fully. I'll just cut out the words makes you happy and use it on this tag that I've brought into the mix. And I thought that fit the story of that photo of my husband and my daughter with the shopping cart, because we had went to Costco and she had spotted watermelon and had to have it, and my husband didn't want to buy it for her that day, but she just really wanted it. So I thought that I would just talk about shopping in Costco that day on that card, and it would all work out great. And I thought that's great. I will go with that. But as you can see, it didn't end up that way. I just didn't like it. It's like the makes you happy little green strips were too small against my journaling. I just thought it looked silly. So I tried a bunch of other things. You see that yellow label there that has a star in it, and I made a little tab that I stamped so much, like she loves watermelon so much. And then I pull out the stamp that says so good, and I try to combine that with, again, makes you happy. But I finally decided I like the look of the so good there. I wrote out my story on my little white card. I layered that on the tag, and I thought I'm just going to be done with it. I am going to leave it like that. But I couldn't stop messing with it, but because I didn't like that either. So I pull out this yellow label again, and I really did like it once I had my journaling, and I layered that label on top of everything else. So I thought that is the best option, and I'm leaving it just like that. So I pull out my next section of cards and photos. I knew I wasn't going to do any embellishing or anything on the 2 4x6 photos, so I just set those aside and worked on my 3x4 cards. I printed out that photo of my daughter and my brother. It's the cutest picture, and I just trimmed that down so that it would be a Polaroid type look on that card. And then on the other white card, I'm layering up 2 different elements pieces that I got from a One Little Bird set. Again, I will link to that down below. And that banner says, I love a good story, and I layered that with a little tag, and I just wrote about my dad and my husband racing the little kids' scooters around the park one day and how silly they looked, and it made us all laugh. And I called that one good. And then I moved back to this picture of my daughter and my brother, and I used a stamp that said you plus me equals heart equals love. And I just kept that simple. I love the way that looks, and that card makes me super happy. So then I pull out the last little section here, and this few cards and photos are devoted all to one particular night, which is Sunday evening. And it was my husband was gone. He was working sort of the later shift that day, and me and my daughter were just ready to have a relaxing night, and that's what we did. And I just kind of devoting this section to that because these are the moments that make my heart just super happy. And so you can see the top photo there is just my daughter giving me some loves, and the bottom photo there, it's just the 2 of us doing some girly things. I have this card that has flowers on it that I love. It's so pretty, and I knew I wanted to use it for this section. I have another one of those die cut shapes that came in my Currently kit that was by Peppermint Granberg that I talked about earlier, and I liked the way that looked. And then I have this card here that has a little tab that says a little downtime, which is perfect for this story. And I just wrote about how we were ready to relax, and so my daughter took a long bubble bath, and we painted nails and just probably watched some fun cartoons and just had a fun girly night, which I loved. So after that, I take a few cards over to my sewing machine and I do some stitching on them, which is a technique I love to do in my project life. And then I'm going to lay everything out on my table again, just to make sure everything still flows good and that I don't want to add any more finishing touches. And after that, I call this spread done. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to watch all the other girls that are on the hop. I have their names and links down below, so check that out, as well as a link to the One Little Bird blog, which is also going to have all of that information on it as well. If you leave comments on the videos that you're watching today, you'll be entered in to win a $25 One Little Bird gift card, which is fantastic. So don't forget to leave a comment, and we will see you all later. All right, bye-bye.